Welcome back, guys, to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, where with some umming and ahhing we managed to pass Angel Starr's first testimony and now move on to her new one, where Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. Can we finally find something to put some doubt in the trial? That's what we're hoping for, something more clear-cut than what we've had so far. It's always the first bits of stuff that really are hard. That's for sure in these games. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? So if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. Right then, let's get to it. A bit of a smaller testimony this time. Maybe we can get through more than one testimony in this episode. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. Why'd you say such things? You said that, but you haven't told us how you know. That's what I'm about to tell you, rookie. I believe what she just said was a mere prelude to the story she's about to tell. Try not to interrupt her again. Rookie. Never interrupt a storyteller. It's like pulling a bun out of the oven half-baked. Something's half-baked here, alright, and it's you. Try not to confuse the defense witness. They're not very quick on their feet. Now, why did you believe the suspect had intentions to murder the victim? Her actions speak for themselves. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. You have no proof that Miss Skye called him there. You have no proof that she didn't.
Mr. Edgeworth, thoughts?
There is no record of a call made on the defendant, Miss Lana Skye's phone. Really? She might have written him a letter. Come on, you could have tried public phone first at least. In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered.
I'm sure he had a reason to be there. Witness? Why do you think it was the suspect who summoned the victim that day?
I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Why? Evidence? What kind of grudge? Well, I wouldn't know that. Of course you don't. That's because she didn't have a grudge. Rookie. I have a lunchbox here. Now, what's inside? A camera? How am I supposed to know? See? We agree there is a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. Is it Schrodinger's lunchbox? A person's life is like a lunchbox with pretzels. Don't you agree?
I get it. That's why my lunch was so salty.
This judge isn't very good with metaphors. The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell us your basis for thinking this? It's simple. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. And so we click present. Why do we click present? Why do we click present? Good question. Why do we click present? Because death is due to a loss of blood. One knife wound. Died within an hour and a half of 4 p.m. I do like the timescale there. It's kind of ridiculously large, which is really suspicious of itself, which is the main suspicious bit when I saw it the first time. But still, death due to loss of blood. One knife wound. Aha! We have something a bit more clear-cut, don't we? Objection! Aw, it doesn't like me today.
Objection!
You say she stabbed him again and again. But you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise! I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr.
What do you mean?
I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that the death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound.
You're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth.
Hey, it's me! What a hunk. He's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed?
Well, witness?
You got the crime scene set, right?
Oh, thanks.
I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. And now I realize that such mistakes are possible.
So, you're saying you mistook something? For blood?
When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast.
Splattered blood from her victim.
That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. Well, I only saw blood on the coat, to be honest.
And tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify!
Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was.
Red muffler? Now this is getting a little bit easier here.
I see no such red muffler. Mind you, it's a black and white photo. I wonder if they bring that up here. But I see nothing like a muffler. The only blood I see is on the coat, which makes sense because if you were murdering someone, you'd want something to discard. You wouldn't want it on your normal clothes because that would look stupid. You're in a prosecutor's office. Why did she premeditate murder in a prosecutor's office to begin with? That's what I really want to lead with. Why would a chief prosecutor premeditate a murder in one of the more law-placing, security cameraing, security booth right above? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It makes no sense to me.
Objection!
But more to the point, what muffler? Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. Why are you objecting?
The witness is clearly not suited for detective work.
What?
The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself with this photograph.
Huh? But that can't be!
Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations! Perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words, but good! I like it!
In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection? Chopped liver? But it was there. A scarf. No, not that, but something red. Really?
Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business.
What?
Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that.
Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least.
Okay then, what do you remember?
Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. The most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth.
Well, it went a bit smoother that time, didn't it? Bit more obvious than the first couple of things we did.
After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah, yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler.
That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. What you heard and what you saw? That's completely different things.
The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Starr.
Resistance is futile. You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra.
That's me, Angel Starr.
That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten.
No thanks. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. Most people are. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. An oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You're cross-examine, if you will. You're cross-examine. You're cross-examine, please.
Judge is going shorthand in his speech. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side.
Tell us more.
So where is this partition on the floor plans? I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. That's right. I remember it being there. There was a wall there, about 6 feet high.
6 feet? That looks a bit taller, I don't know.
She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do.
And what did you do then?
I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. You say quickly.
Were you close to the suspect?
As I just said. I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe I should press it for more details. Yes, you really should. I'd like to see this on the floor plans, just to be safe. Indeed, show us where you were. Show us everything, because I know where you were. And I know that seems to be a pretty hard task. A luncheon car was... She was a visitor. Last she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here?
That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes.
Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right.
But there was a chain link fence in front of you.
I went over it, of course. Okay, quickly.
Amazing, the cough-up queen, lunch lady athlete indeed.
But how? Really? One, a chain link fence isn't that easy to climb if you can climb it, but still, how would Milana Sky not get away in that time frame? It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence. She couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high too. So how did Miss Sky not get away? Indeed. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. Do we really want to keep continuing onwards, or do we want to present something to that? I feel like presenting the crime scene floor plans, but let's press some more. She mentioned the muffler? What exactly did she say? If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler.
Just that one word? So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else?
Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone? She can't mean... Yeah, ask further. More information. By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately? My memory... It's like a salmon, heading upstream, you see.
No, the court doesn't see, Miss Starr.
The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall.
On the wall?
That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently, it was out of order.
And so she used her cell phone.
Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day.
Good witnessing, witness.
How? Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying?
You should, of course, add this to your testimony. I think this is our statement.
The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. Lana's cell phone has been updated in the court record. I saw it all, how she tried the phone on the wall but had to use her cell instead. That's my statement. Right, first of all, let's just check quickly what has been updated. Was overheard during a call made to Emma at 5:18. The word muffler was heard. More to the point, I think this is what we're presenting. I saw it all, how she tried the phone on the wall but had to use her cell instead. So you saw her behind that partition trying the phone. You saw her doing that, but supposedly you're in B thing, having to climb over a fence while she does that? I think this is what I'm going at.
Objection!
I hope I am. No minus marks for me. Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Sky.
Objection!
What? Why am I stumped like that? The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. It feels like I failed. Let's look at the floor plans. Oh, no, maybe not. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making that phone call. Bingo! I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. What? What?
Order! Order! What is the meaning of this?
It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch, she's coughing up lies.
Objection!
That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question? Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about what she saw, where she saw it, or the order of events. I'd say it's where she saw it, more than what she saw. Miss Sky tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Starr to lie about it. Pointless to lie. I see. But say the witness did actually see Miss Sky using the emergency phone, that would place her in A block, wouldn't it? It would mean Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different location.
Objection!
A different location? Now that's a pointless lie if I ever heard one. I'm thinking though she might not have been in the A block, so to say. She might have been up with the security guard. She did mention how it views everything. That block. That overhanging look. She could have seen most of the stuff and then got down through doors. Without Lana Sky knowing that she was coming for her and then making the escape. I don't know. Plus it cuts off Lana Sky's area of retreat as well. Which is different from going from B block to A block, where obviously Lana Sky could have just left through the car entrance. The garage entrance. It wouldn't have been hard. But now that's a pointless lie if ever I heard one. Let's get back on track.
Objection!
Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it.
Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime?
All the testimony we've heard until now points in one direction. The place from where Miss Starr witnessed this crime was here. Right, where is here? Well, I'd say A block or the security room, but then she wouldn't necessarily have seen the car. But I'm going to go with just A block. I mean, from here would be the best things to see this and that, but I say she was at the security room. I'm going to go with the security room.
Take that!
This is the only place where she could have been.
The security guard room?
Indeed, the security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor so you can see the entire lot.
She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone.
The boyfriends. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime and the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr, how many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today a man has got the better of Angel Starr.
Order! Order! Witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better.
I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. The guilty? Is she talking about Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make sense. Huh? She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. That truth still stands. But then if she saw it from there, why was the photo taken from behind the chain link fence? This is all very, very, very weird. Very weird. That truth still stands.
Objection!
It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth.
What?
If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason.
So tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright.
It places her at the scene of the crime? Huh? Me?
Who else?
Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. It must make a vital difference, but what? What would change? Angle of view to the crime, distance to the crime, or the difference in lighting? I say the distance to the crime and the fact that she could possibly commit it herself, I guess? It changes a lot. It's these ones, really. I still say she was further away than 30 foot, that's for a starter. She might have seen less clearly. That might be our thing. But with us debating over this, let's leave this choice till next episode. I think it's distance to the crime. It's the one I'm pretty much going to go for here. But tune in next time to see. I'm going to debate. Debate indeed. Changes that quite a bit. I'll see you then for more Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Bye-bye.